Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaers' huge mistake. Manchester United are set to lose De Gea, Paul Pogba and Jesse Lingard in the summer transfer window. Now, there's three clubs that are chasing David De Gea. That's Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid and PSG. David De Gea has made his transfer decision. He's preparing to leave Manchester United. He says we are set to pay off his huge contract. We have set the price for De Gea. We want £50 million. De Gea has been at Manchester United almost 10 years, so he's been a long servant. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He's made over 500 appearances in all competitions, and he's won everything domestically at the football club. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world, but in the last couple of years, he's made calamitous mistakes, so reflecting on that, he's become a liability. De Gea has 2 years left, I think, on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. I said there's a very good chance he will go back to Spain. Main explanations is because he was born in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain, he began his footballing career in Spain, and back in 2015 he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine the deal never materialised. You know, some United fans may think it's a mistake letting De Gea go. But I reckon now Dean Henderson is our number one. Dean Henderson has started our last 7 games in a row. And I said he's reliable enough to become our number one because he has got that experience behind him. He did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. He's also had other loan spells before. And he's done well in the games he's played in this season. He's kept a lot of clean sheets. He's made good saves in some of the games. His distribution's been good and he's made some good aerial claims. So Solskjaer now has a lot of faith in Dean Henderson. Now, Paul Pogba. I think there's a very good chance he will go back to Juventus because he did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United. Now, narratives have been saying that Juventus want a Paul Pogba swap deal. It recently said they was willing to offer Paulo Dybala in exchange for Pogba. And it said Juventus were willing to offload Aaron Ramsey and Rabiot to afford Pogba, and Fabrizio Romano revealed that Juventus are refusing to give up on re-signing Paul Pogba. Juventus recently told his agent Mino Raiola they cannot afford Pogba, so it did say that Paul Pogba could sign a new contract at Manchester United. Solskjaer did recently say that Paul Pogba's future lies at Manchester United. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that he hopes Paul Pogba will stay and sign a new contract. We had been in contract negotiations with the player. Earlier on this season, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's under contract with Man United until June 2022. But he's had a long running transfer saga. He hadn't only been linked to a return to Juventus, he's been linked to Real Madrid before and PSG. We've been getting the best out of Pogba in recent months. He started against Brighton recently. That was his first start in the Premier League for like over 2 months. Obviously against Brighton he was playing in a deeper role. He can be okay in a deeper role, but I prefer him in more of an advanced role, on that left-hand side. I'd like us to keep Pogba potentially past the summer. I think it'd be a mistake if we let him go. Because Paul Pogba brings creativity to the team. Disregarding Pogba, we lack creativity and we are far too defensive. He was out with a thigh injury for a while. He was out for the first part of this season with an ankle injury. And last season, he was out with an ankle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries now at Manchester United. Mini Oriola has been desperate to get his client out of the football club. He's been doing a lot of talking in recent weeks. Not so long ago, he criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was a lot younger. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson, and Mini Oriola also said he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United, as long as his clients are happy. He did say, though, earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season. And he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer. And back in December, he made an announcement regarding Paul Pogba. He said Paul Pogba's career at Man United is over. He said he's unhappy and he has to leave and he's got no intentions of signing new contracts. Solskjaer was furious with his agent's announcement because it was just before the game against Leipzig in the Champions League. Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, he gave us an update on Pogba's future earlier on this season. And he advised us to sell Pogba in this year's summer transfer window because he said there's a good chance that he'll leave on a free next year and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him, and this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. But yeah, there's a good chance he's going to leave in the summer transfer window. If he was to stay potentially past the summer, then there's a very good chance he'll leave on a free next year, unless he signed a new contract. But Damasio did say not so long ago that Paul Pogba's got no intentions of signing a new contract and his preferred destination is Juventus. Now, Jesse Lingard, he's out on loan at West Ham. He's made a fantastic impact since he's gone out on loan with West Ham. Now, West Ham want to get him permanently. They value him from between 15 to 20 million pounds. This is Jesse Lingard's 5th loan spell because before he's had loan spells with Leicester, Birmingham, Brighton and Derby. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that we are open to a sensational return for Lingard, and it says we could give him a new 3-year contract. Lingard lost his place in our team. That's why obviously we put him out on loan. But Solskjaer has been impressed with his performances since he's gone to West Ham. Question is, if Lingard was to come back to Man United, would he get into the first team? Don't forget there was a period when he was with us where he didn't score 1 goal in the Premier League or register 1 assist in the Premier League for over a year. But Man United, he won the Europa League, the League Cup, the FA Cup as well, and the Charity Shield. And he scored in all them finals, was it? Or some of them finals. But like I say, quite a few players are going to leave Manchester United in the summer transfer window. Edison Cavani, it's looking like he's going to be leaving in the summer transfer window, because Footballer Insider recently said that Cavani is willing to take a pay cut to join Boca Juniors. He's reached a verbal agreement with Boca Juniors. We recently held showdown talks with Edison Cavani over his future at the club. We want to convince him to stay. Cavani's current contract expires at the end of the campaign. We do have an options trigger his contract for the further year. The Uruguay coach recently urged Edison Cavani to leave. Solskjaer said earlier on this season he's hopeful that Cavani will stay. And he revealed that we have been in contract discussions with Cavani. But Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Cavani is closer to Boca Juniors than staying at Manchester United. Edison Cavani's father came out and said that Cavani's unhappy, he's not comfortable in England and he wants to leave. And reports from Argentina said earlier on this season that Cavani has decided to leave Man United after one season. Cavani sustained a few injuries at Man United, but I think he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. There's been a few games where he hasn't got enough service and he's looked very isolated. He did so in the Brighton game. We got him on a free transfer last summer. He signed a 1-year contract with Man United with an option of a second year. Will Man United sell Anthony Martial in the summer transfer window? There's a lot of United fans that are saying we need to sell Martial in the summer transfer window. Martial has been out of form for the vast majority of this season. The chances have been there for him, but he hasn't converted them. Earlier on this season, Ollie backed Martial to rediscover his form, and he said he'd been impressed with his work rate. Martial's out with injury, and Solskjaer said he's probably going to be out for the rest of the season. Sustained a few injuries now. I reckon Martial's had 2 good seasons. He was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Van Gaal. He has been at the club over 5 years. We got him in a deal worth $54 million from Monaco. Last season, I think Ollie gave him that number 9 shirt. Juan Mata, we need to offload him because he doesn't get in R11, and plus my element of concern about him, he's lost that yard of pace and he's ageing up. Juan Mata's current contract expires in June. There is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Towards the start of this season, Mata rejected an $18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. I think Mata's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club almost 7 years. He's scored 50 goals in over 200 appearances in all competitions, and we got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. Donny van de Beek, there's a good chance we're going to offload him. I think we need to offload Donny van de Beek. Main explanation is because he's not getting enough opportunities. If he was getting enough opportunities, then I'd say keep him because he is a good player. Now, narrative said not so long ago that Man United are considering a Donny van de Beek swap deal. And 2 Sports said we're willing to offer Donny van de Beek to Juventus in exchange for Adrian Rabiot. Now, Mark Hughes was talking about Van de Beek not so long ago. He said Donny van de Beek feels lost at Man United and he's edging closer to a Man United exit. Ronald de Boer has backed Donny van de Beek to become a success at Manchester United. Quite a few weeks ago now, Donny van der Beek said he still feels loved at Man United, and Ronald de Boer said the same thing, despite his lack of game time. Said earlier on this season that Van der Beek wanted to quit Man United after one season due to his lack of game time, and he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward over his future. Most of Van der Beek's appearances have come from the bench. He's only started 2 games in the league this season. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Ajax last summer, and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. At Ajax, he was predominantly a box-to-box midfielder. You can play him as a number 10 and you can put him out wide. Back in January, ESPN said that we rejected several loan offers for Van der Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. Nemanja Matic, there's a good chance we're going to offload him because he's not one of our first choice midfielders, but he still gets his chances. Analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been very inconsistent. He's had some games where he's been consistent, but Matic has always been a static player, and that's why I've always had my reservations about him, and plus he's ageing up now. The club made a mistake giving him that new 3-year contract. We got Matic in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Phil Jones, I think we should get rid of him. Phil Jones has always been inconsistent. He's been out of injury for over a year. This is his 10th season at Man United, so he's been a long serving. He's the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. Axel Tuanzebe, could we offload him because he doesn't get in our 11? Will Eric Bailly leave in the summer transfer window? Now, recent reports have said we want 17 million to let Eric Bailly leave for Inter Milan. Eric Bailly's out at the moment because he has got COVID. He recently said that contract talks for Eric Bailly are on hold until he has assurances over his playing time, because he actually has lost his place in the team. The other week, Bailly apologised to Solskjaer and his Man United teammates for his disrespectful behaviour, because he said Bailly was furious with Ole because he felt disrespected and not wanted by him, and Bailly believes that was simply offering him a new contract to increase his asking price. Bailly's got like 15 months left on his current contract, but I'd like Bailly to stay potentially past the summer because he is a good centre-half. My only element of concern about him is injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. And Romero, I'm also expecting us to offload him. Diego Dalot, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. But yeah, in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings. This year's summer transfer window is massive for Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Recent reports said that Man United will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. So in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. I've already identified the weaknesses in the squad. I think we need a striker, we need a right winger, we need a defensive midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Solskjaer did warn earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual due to the pandemic. I reckon Solskjaer needs around £200 million in the summer transfer window if he's to get the players he wants to recommend in. And Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves, because obviously Woodward has come out several times to show his support for Ole, even when we was enduring them really bad periods. He did release a statement earlier on this season saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So in that aspect, Woodward's backing him. And Woodward believes that Solskjaer is the right man to lead the club forward. Plus, we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football. It was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in, because I said that's one of the structural changes that we needed. By the way, John Murtaugh is our first ever director of football. And we've got Darren Fletcher. He's our technical director. I don't think Ollie's been backed enough so far. Solskjaer so far has endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager, and he's spent almost £300 million. I can assure that Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager in the summer transfer window, and he'll be Man United manager next season. I said he does deserve another season because progress has been made in certain aspects. But yeah, we will not sack Solskjaer even if we fail to win the Europa League this season. The Europa League is our only chance of winning any silverware this season, and Solskjaer's got to win a trophy because that marks progress. Solskjaer's not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017, so we don't win the Europa League this season. That'll be exactly 4 years without a trophy. Yeah, I can assure we're going to finish in the top 4. We're probably going to finish second or third this season, but that's not good enough without silverware. Solskjaer has agreed a new 3-year contract with Man United worth £30 million. It's likely to be 2 years with an option of an extra one. Sources at Old Trafford did say earlier on this season that talks were set to begin any day on the new deal because Solskjaer's now into the final year of his current 3-year contract. Yeah, a lot of United fans, I presume, disagree with us giving him a new contract. Does he deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. But I can assure he won't see it out. Yeah, there is still a lot of United fans that are Ollie out. They've obviously got main explanations why, but there's still some Man United fans that are Ollie in, saying we need to give him more time. Even if there was talks about him getting sacked now, and we wanted to sack him in general, we wouldn't be able to, because as far as I'm aware at the moment, there is no one available. And to be honest with you, if we did sack him, it wouldn't really solve anything anyway, because not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer when we are inconsistent. He's accountable for a few things, though. But yeah, there's a lot of players Manchester United are looking at. So I want to give you some more news on Erling Haaland from Borussia Dortmund. So The Athletic have come out and said that Man United have culled their interest in Erling Haaland after identifying 2 other transfer priorities. So it's saying we want a right winger and a centre-half instead of Erling Haaland. He recently said Erling Haaland is our number 1 transfer priority. Borussia Dortmund's CEO has said that Borussia Dortmund are planning next season with Haaland. Now, we recently declined to meet Erling Haaland's agent Mino Raiola over discussing a possible deal for Haaland. Erling Haaland's agent Mino Raiola and his father Alf-Inge Haaland have already been to England for talks with several Premier League clubs. Erling Haaland, his agent and his father have also been to Barcelona for talks, and they've also been to Real Madrid for talks. Narratives came out a few weeks ago and said that Solskjaer kept calling Haaland to persuade him to join Manchester United. Earlier on this season, Ollie said he was following Erling Haaland's progress and he's keeping in touch with the player. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did reveal how impressed he was with Erling Haaland's training at Molde. And he said he struggled with bad knees at Molde. Back in December 2019, Ollie and Woodward went to Norway to meet up with Erling Haaland to negotiate a possible move to Man United. Now, in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference prior to the game against Brighton, he played down talks of Man United chasing Haaland. He says Haaland will make his own mind up. Now, a few weeks ago, it said that Dortmund had revealed their asking price, and it was 154 million. You know, if Dortmund are demanding that much, they're going to find it extremely difficult to offload Haaland. Al Finch Haaland has spoken about his son's career and prospects, and he's spoken about his son's transfer links to Man United before. Haaland does have a £68 million release clause, but it doesn't become active until next year. He has been at Dortmund over the year. Dortmund paid just £17 million for him. And he's got a contract with Dortmund until 2024. Now, you know the news on Jadon Sancho. It looks like Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off, because we have to submit an exceptional offer to sign Jadon Sancho, warned Dortmund, because Borussia Dortmund's CEO reveals that the club will discuss exceptional offers for Jadon Sancho. He said not so long ago, we believe we can get Jadon Sancho for a cut price fee of around £50 million. It said earlier on this season we was preparing to put a £50 million bid in. Earlier on this season it said we dropped our interest in Sancho anyway due to the progress of Mason Greenwood. But yet last summer Jadon Sancho was our number one priority target, but Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation. Ousmane Dembele, you know, there's been a lot of narratives coming out regarding him. This was from Spanish outlet Sport. They said we've increased our interest in Ousmane Dembele. We've been monitoring his displays this season. We've been talking with his representatives and we are preparing a bid. There's been a lot of centre-halves on our agenda, as you all know. There's been good news coming out regarding Raphael Varane recently. Real Madrid have set their asking price. It's £51 million, and that's cheap for Raphael Varane. You know, Jules Koundé from Sevilla, he's another centre-half we're looking at. Sergio Ramos has been in our agenda. Pau Torres from Villarreal, has been a lot of narratives coming out regarding him in recent weeks. But like I say, in regards to Solskjaer, he's not the long-term manager for Manchester United, but I hope I'm wrong. This is his second full season at the football club. If we can finish second this season, and if we can win the Europa League, I'll turn around and say, yeah, that represents a good season for Man United, and that gives us something to build on going on into next season. Reflecting now on Solskjaer's been at the football club, he's gained some managerial experience. He's tried a few different elements. He's learned quite a few stuff on the job as well. He's been Man United manager over 2 years. You know, we appointed him in December 2018. I do reckon that he's in a position he shouldn't be really in. All he knew when he taken over at Manchester United, it was going to be a massive job, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. My concerns about Ole is that he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. His decision making also concerns me, and he doesn't have that big club arrogance as a manager. The main explanation is still Man United manager is because he's a club legend. That's what saved him. I think disregarding him being a club legend, he wouldn't have been Manchester United manager now. Because we have enjoyed very bad periods under Ole where you can turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. There's quite a lot of things though we've got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. You know, he's made good signings since he's come in. He's got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. He did well last season in his first full season. He guided us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League and got us a third place finish. You know, this season got us to the EFL Cup semi-final, got us to the FA Cup quarter-final and win the Europa League quarter-final. We've been very good away from home in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year, and we've enjoyed good periods under him where we've seen consistency, and in some of them good periods he's got the best out of the team. So they are the positives. But in the last 8 years, nothing has changed at Manchester United. You know, despite us sacking 3 managers, despite us spending over £1 billion on players. Mistakes have been made in the last 8 years, and that's why we haven't been as consistent as we'd like to have been. I think the board's definitely been one of the biggest issues at the club for a while, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players, and in general, the managers that we've had since Ferguson retired haven't got the players they wanted to recommend in. I just don't think Ollie's good enough to lead us to a Premier League title, but I hope I'm wrong. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago now. On my next video, I'll be giving you a preview for the Granada-Manchester United game. It's the Europa League quarter-final first leg. So anyway guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.